How's it going, all you beautiful people? Pokemon is outperforming a lot of markets to start off the year. And to show an example, here's some of the stock prices since the beginning of the year. The S&P 500 is down 1.7% since the beginning of the year. Nvidia is down 9.7% since the beginning of the year. Tesla is down 14.8% since the beginning of the year. Microsoft is down 18.6% since the beginning of the year. Apple is up, and it's up 1.45% since the beginning of the year. Meta is down 0.86% since the beginning of the year. And Bitcoin is down 27.3% since the beginning of the year. And I just chose some random stocks. You can look up a lot of stocks yourself and look at the prices since the beginning of the year. And you'll see that a lot of these stocks, even these huge corporations, these biggest corporations in the United States, have dropped since the beginning of the year, and some have dropped substantially. I mean, a lot of people look at Microsoft as a very stable, safe investment. It's down 18.6% since the beginning of the year. It's only been a little over a month, and it's down that much. So, going to Pokemon, is Pokemon really a risky investment? A lot of people kind of bash on Pokemon as an investment and say that it's a children's cardboard game. But is it really risky, or is it really that bad of an investment? Like, is it really that bad to enjoy the hobby, opening packs, and to keep items sealed so that you can sell those later or trade those later for future boxes? Because the Pokemon hobby is expensive. So is that necessarily really a bad thing? Let me know in the comments. But anyways, I've been keeping track of all the ETB prices from Scarlet and Violet base to Phantasmal Flames since January 1st, and every single year or every single week, I'm updating the prices. And the reason why I'm using ETBs is I know that a lot of people use booster boxes as the price of a lot of sets because that's like the king of investing. But I'm using ETBs because because specialty sets like Prismatic Evolutions, 151, White Flare, Black Bolt don't have booster boxes, and I did not want to exclude those, so I just use ETBs. And this is just to track the trend of prices over time, because a lot of people can say prices are going to tank in Pokemon, prices are going to go up in Pokemon, but one thing you can't do is you can't look at data and say that numbers are false. So that's why I'm getting the price of every single ETB from Scarlet and Violet base to Phantasmal Flames, and we're going to see where it goes. So I'm not going to go over every single number. You can take a look on the chart, but I'm just going to say some things that stand out to me. So Scarlet and Violet base Miraidon is actually down 7.46% week over week since last week, but it is up 14.03% since the beginning of the year. And Scarlet and Violet base is if you look at the volume, there's not much sold. So I do use lowest listing on TCG Player to get these prices just to simplify. I know that's not the best way to get prices, but because I'm manually getting the prices of all these ETBs week after week, I'm just using lowest listing because it's the easiest to do. And I'm just comparing the prices week after week. So using the lowest listing from last week to this week, I think is fair to compare. Using the lowest listing from January 1st to this week, I think it's fair to compare. Just the easiest to do. So there's not that much sold, so there will be some fluctuation when people undercut each other on listings and things like that. Paldea Evolved. So this is actually down week over week and year to date. So it went from $124.97 on January 1st to $128.95 last week to $122.99 this week. So it is down 4.62% since last week and down 1.58% since the beginning of the year, which is kind of surprising. One thing to note is Scarlet and Violet base all the way to Paldean Fates is going out of print in April, so I do expect prices of these boxes to go up in price after they go out of print in April. Obsidian Flames. This actually went up a lot. So it started off the year $159.60. Last week was $165.47. And this week, today, it is $179.75. That means that it has gone up 8.63% since last week and up 12.63% since the beginning of the year. That is a big jump. Now, 151, it saw a little dip from 427 to 425. So it's a drop of 0.47%. But since the beginning of the year, it is up 13.07%. And 151 has been going crazy, and I don't expect that to stop because it is going out of print in April, and it does have a big audience that do like the set because a lot of us grew up in the 151 era. So I would expect 151 to do well for the rest of the year, but we'll see how the prices go as we keep track of this for the rest of the year. Paldean Fates didn't really see a movement, and went from $303 to $302.99, so 1 cent lower, lowest listing since last week, but it is up 14.68% year to date. This is another one that's going to go out of print in April, so I do see Paldean Fates going up in price for the rest of the year. Twilight Masquerade. So when I first made my first video, I said 3 sets were underrated for the price that they were at the beginning of the year, and I'll be talking about all 3 of those in order right now. So Twilight Masquerade was one of them. At the beginning of the year, it was $66.93, and I believe that was the lowest of any ETB from Scarlet and Violet base to Paldean Fates. Last week it was $71. This week it's $75.49. So it's gone up 6.32% since last week and up 12.79% since the beginning of the year. Some of the last solds, $75.49, $76.88, $75.47, $59.99. That $59.99 probably had shipping in it. It's just last solds on TCG Player don't include the shipping, or someone just wanted to get rid of it and someone got a deal for it. And then $76.89. So Twilight Masquerade has seen a decent increase in price since the beginning of the year of 12.79%. Surging Sparks is another one that I thought was underrated. I believe Surging Sparks was the second lowest ETB price-wise in this list since in the beginning of the year. It went from $69.15 to $77.95 to $79.97 this week. So it's up 2.59% since last week and up 15.65% since the beginning of the year. And Surging Sparks is one of the ones that I did say was underrated. I think it'll perform well over time. There's way too much pressure on the market, but once that kind of dies down, I do see Surging Sparks see a decent increase in their prices. Prismatic Evolutions was the third set that I thought was underrated, and the reason why I think it's underrated, and it's not really underrated in the sense where I think people don't like it, because I do know that Prismatic is one of the most popular sets in this list, but it's because it got printed so much last year. I think Pokemon has this thing for Prismatic Evolutions where they just need to reprint it all the time. It's like they reprint one set, but then they have to reprint Prismatic when they reprint the other set. So I do think Prismatic Evolutions is underrated. And price-wise, it's kind of reflecting that. In the beginning of the year, it was $122.55. Last week, it was $134.95. This week, it's $144. So it's gone up 6.71% since last week and 17.5% since the beginning of the year. That's a big increase. And I do see Prismatic Evolutions doing well over time, no matter how many reprints there are. I mean, Prismatic Evolutions has already had so many reprints and their price is staying strong, so I don't really see that affecting that too much. Destined Rivals is going... I don't even know what to say about Destined Rivals. But Destined Rivals ETB since the beginning of the year, on January 1st, it was $133.91. Last week, it was $154.87. This week, it's $171.49. Destined Rivals is still in print, and it's still going to be in print for a while. And Destined Rivals ETBs have gone up 10.73% since last week, and 28.06% since the beginning of the year. 28.06%. That's crazy to me. And I know that Destined Rivals is a popular set, but Destined Rival prices have been going crazy. And I mean, it's a good set, so I can kind of see why. So that's kind of what stands out to me. And if you add up all the ETBs from Scarlet and Violet base to Phantasmal Flames, the total price is $2,757.94. So it's gone from $2,506.04 to $2,719.54 last week to $2,757.94 today. So it's gone up 1.41% since last week, and it is up 10.05% since the beginning of the year. So I didn't even choose the ETBs that I thought would perform best over time. If I did, I do think that these percentages would be higher. But I just chose every single ETB from Scarlet and Violet base to Phantasmal Flames. And it is up 10% since the beginning of the year. So a lot of people say Pokemon is a risky investment. Pokemon's going to tank. Pokemon's going to do that. But to start off the year in just one month, this set of ETBs are up 10%. And at the same time, as I said earlier, NVIDIA is down 9.7% since the beginning of the year. Tesla 14.8%. Microsoft 18.6%. Bitcoin 27.3%. So to talk about Pokemon cards, do you really think that Pokemon cards are a risky investment? Like, Pokemon did see a dip to end 2025, but if you look at the trend of just Pokemon cards, you select any Pokemon box that was made years ago. Once it goes out of print, prices will typically rise over time. And I would actually say that Pokemon really isn't that risky of an investment. It's a unique investment. I mean, it is like, it's a Pokemon cards. It is a unique investment. But at the same time, I think Pokemon cards has this bad, there's a lot of people that have this negative connotation around investing in Pokemon, buying Pokemon cards to keep them sealed. But I don't really see a problem in that. I mean, Pokemon cards are so expensive. So is there really a problem in buying 2 ETBs of a certain set, opening one and then keeping one sealed for a year or two, and then maybe selling or trading that ETB so that you can afford the ETB that will be coming out in 2 years, because that will be cheaper since it just came out? Like, I don't really see a problem in that. Let me know what you think in the comments, but that's kind of what I've been thinking about. And I've been really surprised to see certain markets and the way they're going, like the stock market, a lot of stocks. And it is interesting to see that as a lot of things are tanking currently, Pokemon is still remaining strong. And there's signs. What I think is going to happen is I think Pokemon prices are going to do really well this year. We'll see. That's just my opinion. We'll see from the data as I go through these ETB prices week after week. But I do think that based on the trend so far, Pokemon prices have gone up since the beginning of the year, and I don't see that stopping anytime soon. I mean, Ascended Heroes just came out and packs are selling for, I don't know, like over $12, $13, $14, $15 a pack, and people are actually buying it. So there's a huge demand. People want the newest Pokemon sets. People want Pokemon cards. But let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about Pokemon cards, what you think is going to happen to the Pokemon card market, what you think about investing in Pokemon, what you think about keeping sealed products. Let me know just any thoughts that you have as you watch this video. But I really appreciate you watching. I really appreciate your support. And if you've watched up to this point, I'd really appreciate it if you were to subscribe to my YouTube, follow my Instagram, follow my TikTok. They're all TCG Collectors House. And I really do appreciate the support, because your support goes a long way in supporting a small channel like mine. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.